And it was a very lighthearted Patterson, per se, today.
Yeah, he was okay. I think he's cool with where he is. He'd rather have his guys, his full team at full health. But he's come a long way with this team. You forget they're 9-1. It almost seems like they're not 9-1, but that's a pretty good record after 10 games.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, of course, questions already starting to come in, and the news everyone wants to know about is the status of Trevone Boykin. It seemed that Patterson is still holding to that questionable listing, but it does seem like he had a lot of talk about making sure that those backups and the second string guys and just anybody that could possibly come in are more prepared for this Saturday than they were for Kansas.
Yeah, and I think that's just human nature, because you go into Saturday and, those guys, they're not expecting to have to play in the second quarter. Maybe they thought they could get in the second half if the game was comfortable, but, they had to win the game. Foster Sawyer had to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Bram Kohlhausen was trying to hold it down until the game could be stabilized and the offense could figure out what it could do and what it could not do without Trevone Boykin. And even though it was a winless team they were playing, even though it was Kansas, it's still a Big 12 football game you've got to try to win, on the spot in a situation that you didn't expect to be in at all.
Mm-hmm. So real quick, I want to get your take as we look ahead and we look towards OU, not knowing necessarily the status of some of these key players. What's in it for TCU? What do they have to look forward to, and what's kind of the key for TCU going into this game, in your opinion?
Well, the biggest thing, in my opinion, is to be able to throw the ball like you have been all year. I think the running game is going to be there, even though you've got some questions now on the offensive line. And I think you'll be able to play good enough defense, some competitive defense in the game. But if you don't keep up with the offense that Oklahoma's going to put up and that you're used to putting up, I think you're going to be too much at a disadvantage to compete in this game. So if you can throw the ball, if your offense can stay balanced, if you've got a chance to score points, you're going to give yourself a chance even into the fourth quarter. And from there, who knows how the game will go.
Right. And, if you can look at it from one perspective, if Boykin and Doxson are going to play. If they aren't, it's definitely a time to throw some guys in there and kind of look ahead for the future. Look ahead for get Foster Sawyer some reps, which Patterson did say if Boykin wasn't able to go, Foster Sawyer has the edge over Bram Kohlhausen to start at OU. And some of these wide receivers start to get that chemistry going. There is Kenny Hill that'll be added into the mix next year, but it'll make that competition better. And you have to kind of maybe look towards the future a little bit with that.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see Foster Sawyer, if he is indeed the guy they have to call on, because he's got a big arm. I was impressed with it Saturday. And if you look at his high school numbers, they're monster numbers. I know it was at the private school level, but still, quarterbacks today in high school are better prepared than ever to play in college. And this guy was ranked very highly by guys who know what they're looking for in quarterbacks. So, sometimes guys are thrust into these situations when they least expect it. And, here's one, and it might be this kid for TCU this week.